Hello everyone. Today we are going to start our fifth unit, that is food for thought. And the first section in our fifth unit is learning to cook. Jacob arrived at the cottage and found the children outside the door watching for him. They all hastened to him, and the dog rushed before them to welcome his master. Down spoke her, "Good dog." "Well, Mr. Edward, I have been as quick as I could. How have Mr. Humphrey and your sisters behaved? But we must not remain outside today, for the troopers are scouring the forest and may see you. Let us come in directly, for it would not do that they should come here." "Will they burn the cottage down?" inquired Alice as she took Jacob's hand. "Yes, my dear, I think they would if they found that you and your brothers are in it. But we must not let them see you." They all entered the cottage, which consisted of one large room in front and two back rooms for bedrooms. There was also a third bedroom, which was behind the other two and did not have any furniture in it. "Now let's see what we can have for dinner. There is venison left, I know," said Jacob. "Come, we must all be useful. Who will be cook?" "I will be cook," said Alice, "if you will show me how." "So you shall, my dear," said Jacob, "and I will show you how. There is some potatoes in the basket in the corner and some onions hanging on the string. We must have some water. Who will fetch it?" "I will," said Edward, who took a pail and went out to the spring. The potatoes were peeled and washed by the children. Jacob and Edward cut the venison into pieces. The iron pot was cleaned, and then the meat and potatoes put with water into the pot and placed on the fire. "Now I'll cut up the onions, for they will make your eyes water." "I don't care," said Humphrey. "I'll cut and cry at the same time." And Humphrey took up a knife and cut away most manfully, although he was obliged to wipe his eyes with his sleeve very often. "You are a fine fellow, Humphrey," said Jacob. "Now we'll put the onions in and let it all boil up together. Now you see you have cooked your own dinner. Isn't that pleasant?" "Yes," they all cried, "and we will eat our own dinner as soon as it is ready." "Then, Humphrey, you must get some of the plates down which are on the drawer, and Alice, you will find some knives in the drawer. And let me see what can little Edith do. Oh, she can go to the cupboard and find the salt shaker. Edward, just look out, and if you see anybody coming or passing, let me know. We must put you on guard till the troopers leave the forest. The children set about their task, and Humphrey cried out, as he very often did, "Now this is jolly!" While the dinner was cooking, Jacob amused the children by showing them how to put things in order. The floor was swept and the fireplace was made tidy. He showed Alice how to wash out a piece of cloth and Humphrey how to dust the chairs. They all worked merrily while little Edith stood and clapped her hands. But just before dinner was ready, Edward came in and said, "There are troopers galloping in the forest." Jacob went out and observed that they were coming in a direction that would lead near the cottage. He walked in and after a moment's thought he said, "My dear children, those men may come and search the cottage. You must do as I tell you and mind that you are very quiet. Humphrey, you and your sisters must go to bed and pretend to be very ill. Edward, take off your coat and put on this old hunting frock of mine. You must be in the bedroom attending your sick brother and sisters. Come, Edith dear, you must pretend to be asleep and have your dinner afterward." Jacob took the children into the bedroom and removing the upper dress, which would have betrayed that they were not the children of poor people, put them in bed and covered them up to the chins with the bedclothes. Edward had put on the old hunting shirt which came below his knees and stood with a mug of water in his hands by the bedside of the two girls. Jacob went to the outer room to remove the platters laid out for dinner, and he had hardly done so when he heard the noise of the troopers and soon afterward a knock at the cottage door. "Come in," said Jacob. "Who are you, my friend?" said the leader of the troop, entering the door. "A poor forester, sir," replied Jacob, "under great trouble." "What trouble, my man?" "I have the children all in bed with the smallpox." "Nevertheless, we must search your cottage." "You are welcome," replied Jacob. "Only don't frighten the children if you can help it." The man, who was now joined by others, began the search. Jacob opened all the doors of the rooms and they passed through. Little Edith shrieked when she saw them, but Edward petted her and told her not to be frightened. The troopers, however, took no notice of the children. They searched thoroughly and then came back to the front room. "It's no use remaining here," said one of the troopers. So this was our lesson, learning to cook. If you have any doubt or query, you can ask me in the comment box below. Also, if you want to check the other lessons also, then you can find the links of them in the description box below. Thank you everyone.